the fact that giant investment firms can buy up 30% of all houses on the market, which is what was happening a few years ago with like BlackRock, is
can we just
nuts?
Can we just say you can't do that anymore?
I think
doesn't that
that's
just
fine.
seem like obvious to everyone?
Or at least like
I almost feel like that should be bipartisan. Like obviously not developers and like people that directly benefit from this, but I feel like you could even easily get Republican voters on board with like, hey, BlackRock shouldn't own 30% of your town.
And it's like
it just seems so like obvious.
Well, and it's like this is benefiting like 5 dudes who like own BlackRock against the interest of like whatever 10 million people that live in Los Angeles.
I think it's more complicated than that. I think that the reality of the situation is that there are in the United States of America, housing is seen as the most viable way to develop generational wealth.
Okay. Yeah.
And it is to a certain degree true. This is why redlining was so significantly discriminatory towards black people in the Jim Crow North, for example. And the problem is, because of that, a lot of middle class, working poor, or upper middle class individuals who have their houses for generations now, due to prior policy initiatives that were very helpful in home ownership and boosting home ownership, a lot of people do have a vested interest in maintaining their housing values. So the people that do actually go out to vote, those who have more capital than the prior generation or than the upcoming generation, they are the ones who do check the housing market, the real estate market, pretty regularly.
They think that because BlackRock is buying every house on the market, their property value goes up.
Well, because it's not just BlackRock. I'm saying that, like, no, this would genuinely take a chunk of the net worth from not just BlackRock, obviously, but like legitimate single family house owners.
I'm not opposed to people having like 2 houses, like in the situation where you're like, we have this house.
No, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about people who own one house.
I don't see why I would necessarily devalue it.
Well, if there's more supply.
We're just
like
talking about
if you own a house and you have the equity in the house, even if it's just one, like you're benefiting from the fact that
supply. We're just talking about saying BlackRock, you can't own 30% of the houses in LA.
That won't legitimately. I don't. That'll put a dent. It's like Airbnb. That's a good initiative. The BlackRock thing that you're suggesting, good initiative, but all of this is still working to boost the prices of the available inventory of houses, which many people have taken loans against, many people have taken mortgages against.
Yeah.
Right. So like, if their value declines, all of a sudden they're in a tricky financial situation that will cause them to have a reactionary pushback.
I can see why mass public housing could reduce the value, but I don't understand the limiting how much houses somebody can own reduces the value of the properties.
Just as far as, because a lot of those houses sit empty, right? It's not necessarily that BlackRock owns a shitload of houses, it's that they just buy up a bunch of houses and let them sit and appreciate in value so that they can flip them for a profit after a while.
So it's just, right. It's just that they own.
It's that they're using.
They drive the price up.
They're playing the real estate market for a profit, right? And like Hassan said earlier, it's about long-term decommodifying shelter.
I wonder if there's a way for the
we
government.
Shouldn't necessarily let these people be doing this with this fundamental
I don't
think healthcare is the only thing that is susceptible to the market forces of being an inelastic demand good. I think housing should be categorized under a similar in a similar fashion, because when without shelter you die. You have to get shelter.
When you do gun bans, you buy the guns from the people. I wonder if there's a way to compensate single families who are
right. And I guess that's why it's so hard to see movement on this, because it is like the domino effect of all of these things is